Welcome everyone to my final project, which is named the Baseball Video Repository System, or Beavers for short. This project will encompass two databases, one for the content and one for the users. And we have used numerous languages here in this project, Ajax, PHP, CSS, and some HTML. I've experimented with the Ajax for this project. I've never used it before, and it took me a long time to, and many tutorials, Stack Overflow sessions with trying to figure out how this works until I realized how well it does work, and the ability to communicate information client side without having to do a complete page of refresh. And for those who don't know what Ajax is, it's asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So today what we're going to do is first I'm going to let me show you the project visually, and then I'll try to go through the code. There is a lot that's going on in this project, so I will try to make it as informative as possible, but there's just a lot going on, so let's get to it. So here we have a simple login page. It will validate the credentials, so we'll start by doing a session. We require the database, obviously. But we'll simply need to sign up or log into the website using the registration form. If the registration is successful, we will insert the new user account to the table, and then we'll access the content. Okay, so let us, for these purposes, we're gonna, you can create an account, but what we'll do is let's log in. I know that this works. So student and the password, excuse me, is can get in. So we sign in, it logs in successfully, it directs us to the content page. Let's log out for a second. So if we want to create an account, we can create an account. John. But without going through all this stuff, which it does work, but for these purposes, it's going to be okay, so let's register. So it registers us. Okay, great. Now let's log in. So if we log in, let's log in. Great. And it brings us to the content page. Okay, so in this content page, basically what we have here is we have the so it's a video repository, so you can, for my purposes, I wanted to create just for sports only, and since I'm really into baseball, this is just going to be for baseball, but you can make this into any sport, which the platform here, you could do this for football, hockey, soccer, whatever, but for this purpose of the project, it's baseball. What we have here is all the content from the database that's here in view, and whenever time you click one, it'll take you, so the YouTube wrapper will automatically load the content. And these are all run by the database content ID, and we'll show you the code. And what we can do here is, if, say, we wanted to edit this, so let's edit. When we click on the edit mode, we can go through here, and let's do it. Boston Red Sox are awesome. So we submit that. It says, are you sure? Yes. It submits it to the database, and then we recapture that information to the database, and here it is. So there's the test. And I know that's not baseball, but see, if you Boston Red Sox are awesome. So there we go. We can add to the database, okay, through title, platform, year, YouTube, description. This all works. I just don't have time to show you everything that's going on here. So let's log out. So another cool feature that I want to show you here is let's say we tried to access the content without logging in. Okay, so what I'm doing now, what you can see, is I'm trying to access the content not being logged in. So there's no session available. Okay. So right now it didn't allow me. I hit enter, and it still took us back to this user login. So what I wanted to do is make sure that no one can get access to that page without either one being the session being active, or two them actually being logged in. So technically that is really it about this. Another cool feature that took me forever to do is a forgot password. This actually goes through a PHP mailer, and if we forgot the password, we can just simply put our email address in. Well, actually, it goes by your username, so let's do student, and we submit it, and then it gets sent to your email, and then you can log in. It'll actually send you the password, which is right here. So here it goes. It says from me. You put this can all be, put whatever you want, your company name, what have you, and here's your information so that you can log in. Okay. All right. So okay. So that's really it with this program. It took a lot of code, believe it or not, as I show you the back end on how to get this to actually work. It was taken into 2 stages, which you'll see why the code is not all yet into the proper folders, because I first wanted to get the content to work. That took a very long time to get the content to work. Then I decided, okay, well, I want to do a user login, and that took me forever. So then I just focused on doing the user login, and then I ran out of time to actually basically merge the files. It all works, all the code obviously works, but when we look here into our folders, you'll see that these files here are the files that basically run the login, right? And then these files here are what runs the content. So let's just start with the database. Obviously, this is the database file. This has all the necessary information. We connect to SQL Server using the PDO statement, and for this purpose, it'll be named database or config. Most of these files will have them. So let's just kind of look at a few different files. So here's the register PHP. So this is where we went and registered. This is all mostly the session starts, begin. They call the database. Okay, let's get the variables from the username and password. We will check to see if there is an error. So here we go. Did we not enter anything? So this goes back to validate whether we entered nothing. If we didn't enter nothing, then here's the error message. Then we check the fields. Okay, so this is all valid. We're checking all the validations here, and we're going to use Ajax to do this as well. We're going to send this back to the server side for validation. So here's the password length. It has to be greater than 6. If not, okay, we get an error. And password and confirm password do not match, right? So if password doesn't match confirm password. Okay. Then here we go. We send the Ajax request to the file up here, code, to the database. We get it. We're going to validate it. Then we're going to parse it. And then here's where if it's successful, so if the registration is successful, then we go to the login page. Okay, we registered, we sent everything to the database, worked great, no errors, comes back, login. Okay, now we go to the index page. So the index page is here, so here's the login page. Okay, welcome to the user login. So this is where we actually log in. We registered, now we want to log in. Same code, right? Username, password, check for errors, make sure that username, password, there's nothing entered, return the error message, send it through the Ajax response. Now, if it's successful, here's where we do our redirect, right? So if it's successful, now we get to go to the content page. So that's the index page for the content page. Here's the index. This is the content information right here. So we're going to get our databases, okay? We're going to get the content. We're going to include it. Here's where we're going to get display the content. Here's the if not, else if. Let's add content. We're going to list it, delete it, and submit it. Okay? Here's the content DB. This is where all the function statements. So here we're going to get content. We're going to go to the database. We're going to query it. We're going to make a select statement. We're going to prepare it. we're going to execute it, and then we're going to return the statement. This is where all the links and URLs work in the title section. And we do this for each field in the database. So we have the URL, the description, the platform, the year, and then here are the buttons, right? To add content, delete content, submit, and the get IDs, the random content. So I know that I really went through that relatively really fast, but let me just kind of show you a few other areas here that maybe we didn't. Here's the header. Obviously, that's the header and the footer. This is your navigation bar that you'll see up top. And then here's our CSS. Now, the CSS we went through, this is a lot of CSS went into this project because there was two different, basically I created two different projects to put them into one. So there's a lot of CSS. I mean, we are into headers, footers, the wrappers for the YouTube, the padding. Then we did a little bit of Bootstrap. Just the login itself has its own little CSS code. And then here's where we're going to get the Ajax forget. Okay, so this is the PHP mailer that we sent, right? That's when we forgot it. So it goes to this PHP code. And here it is right here. So we get the query, the username. We're going to prepare it. And then this is where we're going to create the statement. And here's the mail code from the address, from the name, email. Okay, we create the subject line, the body. We take the data from the username and the password from the database, and then we send it. Okay, and then we also incorporate the error message here. So that's it. That's it for the code. There was a lot, like I said, a lot of code, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it seems relatively a simple project, but trust me, it wasn't. It took me countless hours to finish this. I just hope that you enjoy it. I do. I'm actually glad I created this project because I'm actually going to use this to house basically all my favorite baseball videos and tie it in there. I know I could kind of do it with YouTube, but this will be on my own little private video stash. So I hope that you enjoyed it.